I'm Dr. Mahim Mendis, an academic of the Open University, and right now we carry the obligation very clearly to explain to the people as to what type of choices they need to make with regard to the elections and the nature of the electoral process that we witness right now. Can the people make wise choices if they are not ideologically educated as to what these parties stand for? We all know, and it is not a secret in any way, that the neoliberal alternative that has been practiced by Ranil Wickremesinghe right now and the Rajapaksa regime for a number of years led to economic bankruptcy of the nation. I would say, as a sociologist, that it is not only economic bankruptcy of the nation, but also social, economic, political, cultural, and moral bankruptcy of the nation that we have encountered. We have been shamed, we have been put into shame as a failed state as a result of the new liberal alternative that have been practiced by what we now call the Ranil Rajapaksa regime. Now, at polar opposites on the other side, we have a group of people who formed a party called the Janata Vimukti Peramuna in 1965. And in 2024, we see that they are talking about being agents of social, economic, political transformation as a Marxist-Leninist alternative. Can anyone say that the Janata Vimukti Peramuna is not a Marxist-Leninist alternative that has given birth to a new project called the NPP? Some time back, in the 1980s, we had the Janata Vimukti Peramuna giving to an extraordinary project called the Desapremi Janata Vyapara. Now these two alternatives we know very clearly, and it is internationally known, had been responsible for destruction, total destruction of the Sri Lankan nation in many different frontiers. With regard to violation of fundamental rights of the people, in undermining freedom and dignity of the people, the neoliberals and the neoliberal Ranil Rajapaksa regime, as at the same time the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, had been totally responsible. Economic bankruptcy came about as a result of one side, that is the neoliberals, giving extraordinary privileges to the richest of the rich. In Sinhala, Danakuveranta Atisaya Prabala Varaprasada Labadima. On the other side, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna has absolutely no respect for private entrepreneurship and private ownership. Now, where do we stand? The Samagi Jana Balavegya is the only party, very clearly, that believes in a social democratic alternative. A social democratic alternative is an alternative that is widely respected in the Commonwealth of Nations, Pudurajya Mandalaya, or in the Scandinavian countries, or around the world in the Asian sector. We believe in capitalist principles to generate wealth. There is no doubt about that. The Samagi Jana Balavegya believes in being inspired by capitalist principles to generate wealth. But most essentially, our leader, Sajith Premadasa, being a social democrat, a well-known social democrat, very clearly believes in socialist principles of redistribution of wealth. Dhanavadi Pratipatti, Dhane Utpadane Kirimatada, Samajawadi Pratipattin Utpadane Kanalada, Dhanaya Navata Beda Ganimatada, පාවිච්චි කරනවා. We as a Social Democratic Party provides the only decent alternative and the globally, internationally relevant alternative in ensuring dignity for the rich and the poor. There is no doubt about that, and we do not become self-contradictory with regard to this matter. Very clearly, the future of the land and the future of the world, whether it be the United Kingdom under Starmer or any other country in the world, believes, Kamala Harris in the United States believes in social democratic principles, the only viable principle or the ideology for the future of the nation. Yet another matter that I would like to touch today as we explain our ideological position is with regard to the ethno-political crisis. What is the social democratic principle that we respect with regard to separation of powers or sharing of power with the people? We firmly believe in equality and equal dignity of all communities of the land, whether it be the Adivasika, the indigenous people, whether it be the Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, Burgher, whatever community of people, we firmly believe. Sajid Premadasa and the SJB firmly believes in equality, samanatmatavya, siyaluma janavasikyan, janavargikyan atara samanatmatavya. Now, if we do not believe in equality of the people, obviously we will not have respect for the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. 13th Amendment to the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is not something that is to be brought in the future. We hold all these governments, the previous UNP government or the SLFP or whoever it may be, for not taking seriously the fundamental principle of sharing power with the people. We haven't got to have a terrorist group fighting in the north or in Uwavellasa. We haven't got to have terrorist groups for us to believe in equality and equal dignity of the people. We need to understand the centralization of power. Our leader has very clearly stated that if the need arises, he will abolish the executive presidency too, because centralization of power had made a mockery, a total mockery of the democratic process in this country, enabling presidents to act with impunity, take the law into their hands and make a mockery of the people and their fundamental freedoms. So these two matters. The SJB, unlike the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, that believed very firmly through the Desapremi Janata Vyaparya, believed in massacring progressives, whether it be Vijaya Kumaranatunga of the Sri Lanka Mahajana Party, who was a very firm advocate of power sharing at that time, whether it be the Communist Party trade unionist L.W. Pandita, whether it be the Ceylon Teachers Union George Ratnayaka, whether it be Pohodra Mulle Pema Loka Nayaka Thero, whether it be Stanley Vijay Sundara, all these are the Vice Chancellor of the Colombo University, all these people were massacred because they supported the 13th Amendment to the Constitution and power sharing. Now, Janata Vimukti Peramuna has no moral right to talk about provincial councils today, because this is a party, this group of people massacred and made a mockery of power sharing, physically massacred in total bloodshed. Progressives of the left or the center or whatever it may be, they massacred them. And the United National Party has no moral right to talk about it. There are people who even postponed and were totally indifferent to the provincial council elections or even to the local government elections in this country. And the Supreme Court had given a proper verdict on the matter. Mr. Wickramasinghe has no moral right, as much as Anurakumara Dissanayake has no moral right to talk about provincial councils, because these are people who undermined the provincial councils of the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. I firmly believe that the people of this country, the learned people of this country, the ordinary people of this country, the professional community, the students, whoever it may be, people of the south, the north, the west, the east, will firmly understand why they should promote, they should propagate and advocate the need for social democratic principles propagated by Mr. Sajith Premadasa, who is a principal leader. We know even at the last elections in the north and east, we got approximately 75% of the vote, because communities in this country greatly respect Mr. Sajith Premadasa and the social democratic principles. That is all I have to say today, and I hope you will be wiser. The people of this country will be wiser in making choices and not to be swayed and misled by the extremist Janata Vimukti Peramuna and equally extremist neoliberal Ranil Wickramasinghe and the Rajapaksa alternative. Thank you very much.
You're watching the Lifetraveler channel.